the wife son of Brahmaji. And one day of Brahma is called Kalpa, in which there are 14 Manus. Therefore, each day of Brahma is called a Kalpa, and there are 30 Kalpas in each of Brahma's months. Simple. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 8:17 as follows. Saharsayug paryantam aharyad brahmano vidu ratrim yuga sahasrantam te ahoratra vido jana. In the upper planetary system, the duration of one complete day and night is equal to one complete year of this earth. 6 महीना होता है. One day of heavenly planet is equal to 6 months here. This is accepted even by the modern scientists and attested by the astronauts. Similarly, in the region of still higher planetary systems, the duration of day and night is still greater than in the heavenly planets. The 4 yugas are calculated in terms of the heavenly calendar and accordingly last 12,000 years in terms of the heavenly planets. This is called a Divya Yuga. 1,000 Divya Yuga make one day of Brahma. This is what you were saying. Saharsayug Paryantam. So, in a day of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And in each Manu, there is 71 Divya Yuga cycle. So, 14 into 71 will come nearly to 1,000. That is Saharsayug Paryantam. 1,000 Divya Yuga makes one day of Brahma. As mentioned above, the creation during the day of Brahma is called a Kalpa and the creation of Brahma is called a Vikalpa. Clear? Duration of one day of Brahma is Kalpa and the entire lifespan of Brahma is Vikalpa. When the Vikalpas are made possible by the breathing of Mahavishnu, this is called Mahakalpa. There are regular and systematic cycles of these Mahakalpas, Vikalpas and Kalpas. In the Prabhash Khanda of Skanda Puran, Shukdev Goswami replies as follows to the questions of Parikshit Maharaj concerning the Kalpas. Prathama Sweta Kalpascha Dvitiyo Nila Lohita Vamana Deva Sthitiyastu Tato Gantho Antaro Para Raurava Panchama Prokta Sashtha Prana Iti Smrita Saptamo Ato Brahat Kalpa Kandarpo Ashtama Uchyate Shadhyotha Navama Kalpa Ishano Dashmasha Smrita Dhyana Ekadashaya Proktas Tatha Sarasvato Para Trayodasha Udanastu Garudotha Chaturdasha Kaumara Panchadasho Gneya Paurnamasi Prajapate Shodasho Narasimhastu Samadhistu Tathopara Agneyo Vishnuja Sura Somakalpastatopara Dvavimsho Bhavana Prokta Supuman Iti Chapara Vaikuntha Chartishastadvar Valikalpastatopara Saptavimsho Atha Vairajo Gauri Kalpastatha Para Maheshwaras Tatha Proktas Tripuro Yatra Bhatita Pitrakalpastatha Chante Yakuru Brahmana Smrita. The 30 kalpas of Brahma are Shweta. This is 30 kalpas means 30 days, 1 month. Okay? Don't get confused. वो पूरे 30 days जो अलग अलग days हैं वो क्या है वो सारा यहाँ लिस्ट किया हुआ है. श्वेत नीलोहिता वामन देवा गथंतरा रौरवा प्राणा बृहत कंदर्प सद्योता ईशना ध्याना सारस्वता उदाना गरुड़ा कौर्मा Narsimha, Samadhi, Agneya, Vishnuja, Saura, Soma, Bhavana, Sukuma, Vaikuntha, Archisha, Vali, Vairaja, Gauri, Maheshwara, Petra. These are Brahma days only. And he has to live months on these days up to 100 years. So we can just imagine how many creations are there in Kalpas only. Then again, there are Vikalpas, which as mentioned above, are generated by the breathing of Mahavishnu. This is stated in the Maha Brahma Samhita. Yes, ek nivasati kalam avthal athavalamba jivanti lom virja jagadanda natha. Brahma Samhita 5.48. The Brahmas live only during the breathing period of Mahavishnu. That is the duration. One breath of Mahavishnu is the lifespan of Brahma, which is so phenomenally long. So no one else is the master of all creation. Parimanam chakalasya kalpalakshana vigraham yata purastad vyakhyase padmam kalpatho shunu. O king, I shall in due course explain the measurement of time in its gross and subtle features with the specific symptoms of each. But for the present, let me explain unto you the Padma Kalpaha. This is Parikshit Maharaj hearing and Shukdev Goswami speak. 1 second, I'm coming. One moment. So here, when the Kalpa and the Vikalpa and the Mahakalpa, the duration and time is being talked about. But here, Shukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit that I will tell you further in detail. I shall in due course explain the measurement of time in its gross and subtle features with the specific symptom of each. But for the present, let me explain to you the Padma Kalpa. This is another. What is the Padma Kalpa? The present duration of Kalpa Brahma is called the Varaha Kalpa or the Shwet Varaha Kalpa, because the incarnation of Lord as Varaha took place during the creation of Brahma, who was born on the lotus coming out of the abdomen of Vishnu. Therefore, the Varaha Kalpa is also called the Padma Kalpa. This is the reason. And this is testified by Acharyas like Jeev Goswami as well as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in pursuance of the first commentator, Swami Sridhar. So there is no contradiction between the Varaha and the Padma Kalpa of Brahma. So this is one understanding. Further, so after hearing the sages who are hearing from Sut Goswami, they inquire. Shaunaka uvacha yadahono bhavan sutra Yad yad ahono bhavan suta shatta bhagavatottama chachara tirthani bhuvas tyaktva bandhun sudushtajayan. So from where the discussion has been, brought to where? What was being discussed is how Brahma was explaining to Narad Muni, and in reference to that, this conversation is coming. And now the assembled sages, they are asking one question. What are they asking? Sonak Rishi, after hearing about all the creation, inquired from Sūta Goswami about Vidur. For Sūta Goswami had previously informed him how Vidur left home, leaving aside all his relatives who were very difficult to leave. So from the subject matter of creation, the theme has been shifted on the inquiry for Vidurji. That Vidur left home, and what about his renunciation? Where did he reach? So all those details are being asked. The rishis headed by Saunak were more anxious to know about Vidur, who had met Maitreya Rishi while traveling to the pilgrim side of the world. So there will be a detour. Further in Bhagavatam, there are many detours. One name of Vidurji is Shattaha. So he is inquiring. Satta Kaushara Veha Satta Kaushara Vestasya Samvado Adhyatma Samshrita Yadyo va sa Bhagavams Tasmai Pristasya Tattvam Uvachaha Bruhinastad Idam Samya Vidurasya Vicheshitam Bandhutyaga Nimittam Cha. Yathagatvan Punah. Saunak Rishi said, let us know, please, what topics were discussed between Vidur and Maitreya, who talked on transcendental subjects, and what was inquired by Vidur and replied by Maitreya. Please also let us know the reasons for Vidur giving up the connection of his family members and why he again went home. Please also let us know the activities of Vidur while he was in the place of pilgrimage. So there is a shift in the subject matter. Srila Sūta Goswami was narrating the topics of creation and destructions of the material world. But it appears that the other rishis headed by Saunaka were more inclined to hear the transcendental subjects, which are on a higher level than the physical. There are two classes of men. Namely, those who are too addicted to the gross body in the material world, and others on the higher level who are interested more in the transcendental knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam gives facility to everyone, both to the materialist and to the transcendentalist. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the matter of the Lord's glorious activities, both in the material world and in the transcendental world, man can derive equal benefits. The materialists are more interested in the physical laws and how they are acting, that they see wonders in those physical glamours. The materialists are more interested in the physical laws and how they are acting, and they see wonders in those physical glamours. Sometimes due to, due to physical glamours, they forget the glories of the Lord. They should know definitely that physical activities and their wonders are all initiated by the Lord. The rose in the garden gradually takes its shapes and colors to become beautiful and sweet, not by a blind physical law. Although it appears like that, behind that physical law, can someone of you read? I'm completely exhausted. Read Purushottam. Read from here. They should know definitely that physical activities.
They should know definitely that physical activities and their wonders are all initiated by the Lord. The rose in the garden gradually takes its shape and color to become beautiful and sweet, not by a blind physical law, although it appears like that. Behind the physical law is the direction of the complete consciousness of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, things cannot take shape so systematically. The artist draws a picture of a rose very nicely, with all attention and artistic sense, and yet it does not become as perfect as the real rose. If that is the real fact, how can we say that the real rose has taken its shape without intelligence behind the beauty? This sort of conclusion is due to a poor fund of knowledge, but must know from the above description of the creation and annihilation that the Supreme Consciousness, being omnipresent, can take care of everything with the perfect attention. That is the fact of omnipresence of the Supreme Lord. Persons still more foolish than the gross materialists, however, claim to be transcendentalists and claim to have such supreme all pervading consciousness but offer no proof. Such foolish persons cannot know what is going on behind the next wall, yet they are falsely proud of possessing the cosmic all pervading consciousness of the Supreme Person. For them also, hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam is a great help. It will open their eyes to see that simply by claiming, claiming supreme consciousness, one does not become supremely conscious. One has to prove in the physical world that he has such supreme consciousness. The rishis of Naimisharanya, however, were above the gross materialists and the false transcendentalists, and thus they were always anxious to know the real truth in transcendental matters as discussed by authorities.
Okay. You have few verses left. This is the last verse, 50 verse. So, it is a shift which is coming. They are asking on the Vidur Maitri Samvad, the reason for Vidurji giving up his family attachment and his details on pilgrimage. This is the last verse. Suta Uvacha Raja Parikshito Prishto Yadavochan Mahamuni Tatvo Abhidhisya Shrunuta Raja Prashna Anusarata. O Sud Goswami, Sri Sud Goswami explained, I shall now explain to you the very subject explained by the great sage in answer to King Parikshit's inquiry. Please hear them attentively. Any question that is put forward may be answered by quoting the authority, and that satisfies the saner section. That is the system even in the law court. The best lawyer gives evidence from the past judgment of the court without taking in the system, in the law of court. The best lawyer gives evidence from the past judgments of the court without taking much trouble to establish this case. This is called the parampara system, and learned authorities follow it without manufacturing rubbish interpretation. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sajidananda Vigraha Anadira Dirgovinda Sarvakaran Karanam. Let us all obey the Supreme Lord, whose hand is in everything without exception. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second canto, 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. Om Tat Saditi. So we, by mercy, we at least did this second canto. So now the third canto. We will begin next time. We'll begin the third canto. Hare Krishna. If you have any inquiry, please ask. Okay, if there is no question, then I will end. Please take good rest. Wake up early. Please strengthen your sadhana. पुरुषोत्तम आपका आया नहीं एक दिन भी साधना कर. प्रदीप आपका भी नहीं आ रहा है. और मनोराम तो कभी देते ही नहीं है. उनको जरूरत नहीं है. गुणाधीश रहना चाहते हैं. Want to remain within the three modes. So please work on it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki